Testing. Oh, well, hello. Sorry. What's going on, everybody? It's Rodrigo Fonador, Asheville Cash Buyers. Today's Wednesday, so guess what? We got another episode for you, Whiteboard Wednesday, Season 2, Episode 6. And today we're going to be talking about mobile homes and everything associated about buying and selling a mobile home that's on a lot. So like a mobile home lot rent, a leased lot in a mobile home park or mobile home park community, or even on private land. So, going to talk about, how do you attribute value? What's a mobile home worth that doesn't come with the land? Our opinion, in short, is they're not worth very much, unfortunately. So, going to shoot myself in the foot here a little bit maybe, but we don't really pay very much for mobile homes that are on leased land unless they're owner financed. That's the only time that we'd be willing to pay a little bit more. And even then, at best, I don't think we've paid more than $8,000 or $9,000 for a mobile home, period, at any point in time. And I want to share why and give you some insight into that. And maybe you disagree, and that's fine. And if you disagree, we'd love to know why. But we're going to get into that. So, mobile homes on leased land. All right, guys, so this is what we're talking about today. Mobile homes on leased land. What's the value? How do we look at them? Again, well, like I said, we don't look at them as a high dollar purchase. They have to be for what we consider cheap. We're not going to pay a ton of money into them. And the biggest reason is just there's a lot of uncertainty and there's not a lot of long-term value other than, looking at them as a rental with limited upside. And here are the variables we're going to be talking about, okay? Talking about the lot rent. It's a terrible T. All right, lot rent. Talking about moving costs. And now we're going to talk, and the third thing, happen or not, is third parties. So what do these three things have to do when determining value? Lot rent, that's going to be your fixed cost. And that's whatever the park landowner is charging you to have your mobile home on there. And so what does that mean? It means that if I have a mobile home, I might own the mobile home, but I have to lease or rent the land that it sits on from somebody else. And the reason this is always a tricky proposition is because just like in renting a house or renting office space or renting anything, at the end of any rental agreement, that price can change. And just earlier this year, we were having, conversation and heard about somebody who was paying $300, I think it was, per month. And then the owner, the landowner, decided to raise that to $500 a month. Could you imagine being in a situation where your rent is automatically jumps $200 a month just because? Yeah, that's tough to swallow. So, that's concerning. And so that's an issue with lot rent, why we can't pay so much for mobile homes, because even though there might be a lease in place for the land, it's only going to last for so long. And then it moves into the third thing. It's the moving costs. If you've never tried to move a mobile home or had it quoted, then you might be surprised. I was very surprised the first time I looked into moving a mobile home. I've moved, I don't know, not that many. We've moved somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 3 to 5 over the last few years. So not a ton, but just enough to get a feel for it. And our costs for each move has been between $3,000 to $5,000. And that's just to move it. And we could do a whole episode on how to make sure you're moving a mobile home correctly or not. And actually, maybe we'll do that next week or something. But there's a lot that goes into moving a mobile home. You have to make sure that the electrical is taken care of. If there's a heat pump, you got to make sure that the mechanical is taken care of. When you put the mobile home down, you got to make sure all the tie-ins are done correctly. And then your plumbing, your sewer. And then not to mention, a lot of mobile homes are in weird places. A lot of the ones we've had and moved are on steep hills and windy roads. There's a lot going on, and it's not an easy thing to move a 70-foot long building that's 12 feet wide on some of these narrow mountain roads. And so they can be expensive to move. And just double or triple that with double wides, and the bigger the mobile home, the more expensive it's going to be, and the further the distance as well. And point number 3, so third parties. At the end of the day, it's renting a lot from somebody and owning a mobile home on somebody else's land can be very frustrating at times if the landowner isn't out there to make your life easy, and he's trying to make your life, or she is trying to make your life difficult. And so when you're trying to sign up and you're looking at buying something, for example, there are some people who don't want to buy anything that has an HOA around it. And this is very similar, because when you buy something that's on somebody else's land, then you have to abide by whatever their rules are, whether that you agree with them or not. And again, they always control the lot rent. They can determine what's okay and what's not okay. And typically, you have a year lease, and that's the only security you get. You know what you can expect for the next year or so. And then you have to hope that they sign another lease, etc. So coming down to value overall for mobile homes on leased land is very low for us. And we'd love to pay more. We do like buying them from time to time, but the numbers don't always match up for everybody. And we understand that, and that makes sense. So if you're out there looking to buy or sell a mobile home on somebody else's land, hopefully you found this information helpful, and you'll be able to make that decision for yourself. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Season 2, Episode 6, Whiteboard Wednesday. Once again, I'm Rodrigo, founder with Asheville Cash Buyers. Take care.
We'll be right back.